It has been some time since I last recorded a video with my microphone active, or at least made a voiceover for a video, and I mostly do it for this video because some of the audio wasn't really being recorded right or at all, and so that there's at least some sound, I'm here to record it with my I record my voice. And I could talk a bit about the outpost. So this outpost is rather easy. I sometimes grapple too far and then you need to go up there again. But it's a pretty easy outpost. Nothing much to talk about here. You go in, you go out. There's a small little parkour thing with corrosive cubes that you can take in the beginning, which is fun. And yeah. Most of the outposts from Shady I have played, I think, have something similar to this, where there's at least some kind of parkour section somewhere. And yeah, this map was a bit more difficult because of Death Blossoms. And yeah, Death Blossoms can be somewhat difficult to outplay. You can either grapple right through them, but that's not always the safest bet, because yes, they can explode. If you go too close to the center, you will die. So you can also trigger it and then go through it, which is a lot safer. But here I just go right through it, because why not? It saves a bit of time. And yeah, the incinerator here, yeah, it can be dangerous if you grapple too early into it. But yeah, I still love that it's take damage now and not instant death. It makes it so much better. And here I tried to figure out where to go, and I was like, okay, maybe it's down here? But no, nothing is down here. And so I had to go back up and notice that there are stripes. So I instantly know where to go. And yeah, Plasma Sentinels can be dangerous sometimes, but not always. They have a slight homing effect, and with the right mods they also have plasma clouds, which can be dangerous at some points. When you stay too long at a point or something, you will die. And here this is nearly just luck. If you go in that corner, you might survive, you might not survive. That's just about how the bombs want to go. And in this run I got lucky and could escape, and so we go on to the next one, which is another zero death outpost, zero death run I did on an outpost. But here I took a bit longer because I again did not know where to go and lost my way a couple of times, and I basically only found the genmed by accident, which is also kind of funny. But yeah, I still thought I was going the right way, but then I noticed, oh, nope, that's not the right way, I'm back to the beginning. So we go back up again and see that there's a hornet, which luckily doesn't notice us, because if it had noticed us, it would have been a bit more dangerous. And yeah, I didn't go into the sentinel room because I was unsure if I could ever get past it. And here you see me getting lucky by misgrappling and getting here, and there's a blooper still here. But yeah, also in this situation I thought I would die because I didn't notice that the Ravager would still shoot at me, which I luckily survived. But yeah, the sentinel here can be dangerous in the room because you don't know if you are fast enough to get past it, and if you are not, you will most definitely die to it, especially in such small spaces where you don't have much space to run away from a projectile. Shidler is a somewhat interesting map. It features the first one without a sound, as you can hear, and it's a short map if you know where to go, and it has this interesting, this one here with the corrosive cubes. That's an interesting way to go to the gen mat, which is also funny because we will go back right there. And I died a lot to not timing my grapples right here and just falling into the corrosive cubes. Yeah. But luckily this time I got it, and now it was only a matter of time to get out. I was thinking of going up there, but then I thought maybe I can go down again in a orderly fashion without a hornet killing me. So I went down and noticed there are pistons and thought, okay, I have to I found some way around, and the way around was just grappling a bit around until I get the right timing to get through them. The next map is a map where I went with an entire, I don't know how to call it, fuck it. This path is nearly all parkour, and there are just a very, very few enemies at all here, or traps, which makes it a lot easier for an only grapple run. You just have to figure out where exactly you have to go. And yeah, if you go the normal way, there are a lot more traps, there are a lot more enemies, there's a Revenger, there's a laser, everything that you don't actually want to encounter if you don't have to. And so we go back down, and I see, okay, I didn't go there, so I probably should go there. And then I see that there's a genmet arm that Shady sometimes uses to indicate where the genmet is. Also, this warmonger, who could have easily killed me if I misgrappled a bit, if I didn't instantly grapple against to get out of the way, because the warmonger has slight AoE radius, which could also sometimes kill you if you don't go far enough away. And yeah, there's also a thing that can happen if you go too fast back into a warmonger, that you still die to the attack, because the animation may have finished, but the attack wouldn't have finished yet. Yeah. Which is also an interesting thing that can happen. There is not much about Gasconade to talk about. The entrance is not heavily guarded. The warmongers mostly don't notice you until you're already past them. But it's one of the more interesting artistic builds in my opinion, because it's very open and everything is connected to each other, so it's easy to get lost. And here I just went back, I don't know why. I just thought, okay, maybe that is the right way, maybe going up is right, maybe going here is right, but I didn't really find anything. And so I went back down, and yeah, then went this way. I will try to follow the HRV decal, because in this map the HRV path is signaled by the HRV decal, which can help you find the genmet, but yeah, not always, because I will soon be lost again and going back down here. We were up here earlier, and now I just go down and get clawed. Luckily there wasn't any enemy that could shoot me. If there would have been any, I would have instantly died, which is fortunate that there wasn't. And going back again here, trying to figure out where to go and not knowing anything. Yeah, there is a Pathfinder Biolink, but I do not appreciate using that in only grapple. I think in any kind of challenge, using any kind of Biolink or hardware, if you say only one thing, or true pacifist where you only use movement, I think it's not what I want to use. You can use it if you feel better about it, but I won't. And that's why sometimes you will see me accidentally use the Pathfinder Biolink, because I might forget sometimes to take it out, and that's just then how it is. And sometimes I don't even notice that I have it on. And yeah, here's another bomb ejector that we quickly escaped from, but nothing to worry about here because of normally such stairs can be scary, but if you have enough momentum to instantly go down and then grapple further away, you mostly will never get hit by it. This map was one of the more deadly maps, and mostly because of a few things that you have to be wary of. The first one is the traps down here if you go in. I had to figure out which is the safest way to trigger these bolt shots without dying, and it's quite easy, but going in here there are also some bomb ejectors that you have to be careful about, so going up there is the safest bet. Then there's another bolt shot here that you have to trigger to be safe up here, because there's a claw on the piston that you don't want to get into. The claw later will be even more annoying, so we will have to avoid it at all costs. This burning piston is also very important because we will use it to kill the warmongers that are in here. So if you get the warmonger to run out of the room, their pathing will change to run away to the next spot that the Shady set for them, and that space is behind the burning piston. So getting them to run away will most of the time kill them, which is very good for us, not so good for them. But there are also some times where they do not die, but even in that case, it's not very difficult to outplay the warmongers. But yeah, here's the claw. We want to go up here and not get grappled because of the incinerator, which would be very deadly. And then it's just going out. There's another laser in a moment that can be dangerous if when you leave this cave. And yeah, but that's it. It's a bit close to go up there because if the laser fires a bit faster, you would be dead, but it doesn't. So that's this map. Eastchester was a very normal map. It had some interesting ways to use bolt shots that can be evaded rather easily, like this one behind me now. If you are fast enough, it won't hit you. Then there's this bolt shot where you can just go a bit further up. We will trigger it again. This one was very lucky. I didn't actually want to go too far away, but I survived it either way because, yeah, I got lucky. Here we nearly died to the plasma cloud, but we are just a bit faster, so we survive. And yeah, these bloopers, I don't know why people still use them. They can be interesting in some cases and put on a lot of pressure, but in my opinion they are not that good and generally are not worth the capacity. In acid dungeons they can be a bit of a threat, or if you only have one block and there are 3 guys, then it might be dangerous for you. But yeah, Anson was, I think, the most difficult of the maps yet. And that's mostly because of the gen med room, where it takes a lot of precision and luck to get past. We will wait here to see and hope to kill a hornet, but sadly the hornet isn't... I mistimed the hornet a bit, so the hornet will not die. And could have made a bit of a problem, but we luckily get past it without a hitch. The death blossoms here are also very dangerous, and another reason why it took me a few more attempts, because sometimes you just land in one of the mines and instantly die. The cannonbags, we want to kill them because they are very annoying if they don't kill them when you go back down. And yeah, now we are at the final room and we try to trigger as many traps as possible, especially a bomb ejector, because that would be annoying if you go in there and then the bomb ejector triggers. I have died to it a couple of times. The guards also are very dangerous. The laser is and the Plasma Sentinel are the least problems that I had in that room. And yeah, at this point I just try to go up and avoid the Death Blossoms, and one was destroyed, the other is still there, but easy to avoid relatively. Then we would be going up. I forgot a bit that it was up and looked down and wanted to go down, but then I remembered, oh yeah, to first up then down. And yeah, I think the Hornet should be somewhere around here. Maybe it went another path. I don't know where the pathing for the Hornet is, but yeah. And for the last map, it's a somewhat artistic map. It kind of reminds me of a modern building for some kind of tech company. But yeah, the most difficult part of this map is probably this ramp here, because the Enforcer can be sometimes very hard to outplay, as well as the Claw, because if you don't destroy the Claw with something else or get a Claw to block, it will grab you, or if you are not fast enough. And that's just not what we want, because if you get grabbed by the Claw, you will be in the incinerator range, which is not ideal. There are a few more bullet shots here that most of the time in such large structures can be avoided easily if they do not have Hunter. And yeah, these lasers in the Enforcer did pose a little bit of a threat, but luckily we don't have to go back all the way and just have to go through the holo cubes and figure out where exactly the ramp down is and get out. And yeah, that's basically it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.